Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our live stream. So I'm one, the founders of Vietnam. Um, and again, so for the one who don't know me, I will introduce again myself. I'm the founder of Vietnam Cultural Exchange and the co-creator with B&P Art for Children here in Đà Nẵng. So I'm happy and have you join with us tonight. So whether you are watching from Vietnam or somewhere else around the world, um, tonight live stream will be mainly in English again, but one day we wish that it will be in both language, English and Vietnamese. So we will try our best to have a subtitle after that for the one who do not understand English, because this is still purpose also for a lot of locally Vietnamese parents to watch it. So we will translate it later. So the main conversation will be in English with Julia and Ruby. And so um, today, Julia will come with us later. So I will let Ruby introduce himself for the one who don't know.
Ah, hi, I'm Robbie, and I still have my throat a little bit, but it's better, so I drink sometimes. It's also because of the weather. Normally, the raining season is in September, but they thought this year, let's start already now. And now we have the whole week rain. And I don't know how much rain there is left, but today there was a lot of rain. So we didn't have to go to the sea. We could swim on the street. It's also funny. But I'm I develop cultural educational programs, and and I make exhibitions, and I'm doing that already for more than 50 years. I'm getting old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So uh, and now I'm helping Owen with her art gallery for children because I think that's incredibly important. I started with exhibitions for children about 40, 50 years ago. And the reason was very commercially because I had a gallery and the children came in the gallery and then they were looking and then they say, where is the art for us? And then I thought, oh, yeah, indeed, where is art for the children? Because they're growing very fast. And, you have children books, videos for children. Well, in the past, you didn't have that, but movies for children. So it's very strange when you don't have art for children.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that a little bit because art is expensive and children don't have money. So artists, they think, well, it's not so interesting commercially to make art. But you also can think when we don't make art for children now, then the ones who make art for children, like Disney and all those others, well, they develop the taste of the children. And then later, when the children get older, they're not interested in the art that artists make, and then they have a lot of problem to reach the people. They always also difficult to find people who is interested in art. Yes, of course, if you wait till they are 20 or 30, then it's very difficult. But when you work on children, like a lower school, in a class, you have children, they will become later dentist, other they will become plumber, it's a bit the same, and other will do, they all, you get them all. But when you wait till they're 16, 17, then it's already dividing. Then you have the smart ones, they learn electricity, and the dreamers, they learn art or literature or something like that. So you have to bring art for children very young. That's very important. And I agree, you do not make money with that. That's a big problem. And it's not always easy to find money for organizing those things. But on the other hand, there are more and more parents, and when they see and they hear what we do, and when they come here, they love it, and then they say, "Wow, this is so nice," and the children love it also, and it's also good for children because you have also art schools, but that's for children who wants to make art. And there is a lot of children that think, yeah, I like to see it, but I don't want to make it because I'm already on playing violin or on cello or a piano. And it's very difficult to walk with a piano every time to your place where you have to play. So they go to the other things, but they still like to come to our place because they can come one times in a month or maybe sometimes after 2 months we see them again because they have a lot of other things to do. And when you go to a course, you have to be there every week. And that's for a lot of children not possible. Also financially, because there are also a lot of children that just don't have so much money. So our activities are for free. And the interesting thing is that we get more and more sponsors, people who say, hey, we like what you do, and when we can help and we can support a little bit, we love to do that. So that's one thing. For the moment, I'm mostly making videos on trying to make videos for our YouTube channel. That's another thing because when you have 1,000 subscribers, then YouTube pay you when you have a lot of views on the video. And some of our videos, they have more than 10,000 views. So when we would have more than 1,000 subscribers, we will get already money from YouTube. And that would help us a lot to finance the activities. So please subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends to subscribe. It doesn't cost any money. And it's completely free. When you get tired of it, you just unsubscribe or whatever. But don't do that because you don't have to watch your videos. So I'm working now on videos, and that's kind of difficult because sometimes I don't know anymore what I've been telling in my other videos. And then it's also a bit difficult because sometimes I have to repeat it because people did not see all the videos. We have more than 100 videos already, so nobody is watching them all. But if you have free time, you can do that. It's no problem. It's for free. Uh, so, and now I was working on the video for the project Art Starts Story. And it means that you can, when you have a painting or whatever, it helps you to start a story in another language. But I started with making the video for the children who are going to do that. But when I was working on it, then I thought, wait a moment, maybe it's more interesting when I make the video for teachers and for adults who wants to set up things like that. Because we are sitting in Da Nang and in a part of Da Nang, but there's a lot of children, and on the other side of Da Nang, it's already half an hour or more to drive to the other side of Da Nang. And there are many more cities, and for sure they will not come here. So it's much more interesting that people all over Vietnam, but also in other countries, so I use a kind of English, which is very easy because I only know 20 words. I just mix them and then it looks like I know more words, but don't get confused for that. So, and everybody can see it, everybody can use the thing. So now I'm working it a little bit more, um, I go deeper into the theme, and that's not always easy because then I think, okay, it's easy to say, for example, oh, the golden ratio. This is following the golden ratio. But when you look at it, then it starts more and more, it's clear that the golden ratio is incredibly important. But the most interesting thing is that it's not the golden ratio, but it's how you divide from it, how far you are away from the golden ratio. It's the golden ratio is something that is perfect, and perfect things, they are incredibly boring. Only things that are not perfect, they are so interesting because they sometimes they try to be perfect, and then you can laugh a lot when they try to do that and they fail or they don't fail. I don't know, but that makes it interesting when people are not perfect. And so when you talk about the golden ratio, and then it's important that people understand that it's not the intention for an artist to paint exactly following the golden ratio. No, it's just the point is how you go a little bit off it. Compare it with music. You have the blue zone where you have blues. That's the septime note, the seventh note of an octave. You have eight notes, and you do not sing it on the eighth tone, but you sing one tone of it, and then you. It's well, it's a door that goes open and close, so it's also music. But that makes it interesting when, like it's like rhythm when you have the rhythm that just go pong, pong, pong. It's very boring. But when you have the pong, 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 and when it goes a little bit faster, then you get like the gypsy music, the chuck, 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 or jazz music is goes a little bit slower. And that's that's how things are becomes more and more interesting when things are not perfect. When things are too perfect, then it's boring. So, but that, how do you explain and translate that into a story? So, when you write a story, you must try to write not perfect. So, but when you make mistakes, you must not make perfect mistakes because then it's also, so it's kind of, it's very difficult. So you must make spontaneous mistakes. You are not very good, but you also must not make, not any mistake is good. So you also have to practice how to make mistakes. Yeah, life is not easy. But the funny thing is that it's not easy because being perfect is quite easy, I think. I've never done that. But in each
Yeah.
case, so I'm always thinking on that kind of things when I try to make the video. And now I decided to make the video for more for teachers or for adults who say, hey, I like this. And it goes well with our art lending because we have an art lending for children. So they can come here, they can lend an artwork, and then they hang it at their home, and then they say, and now I'm going to write a story. And then a few weeks later, they come back, and then I ask, how was it going? And then they say, I need another artwork. This artwork was not good for a story. So
That's
that's
so fun. That's another way to see many different aspects. Either
yeah,
they use them or not, they have time to look at it, when the artwork already at their room. So thank you so much. It's a lot of information that you are working on the videos, the art stars, the art landing for children. And thank you so much. This is also one of the topics that we're talking today about the children gallery. B&P are for children. It's a play where children can feel free, creative, and truly by themselves. So yeah, every activity in this gallery will be for free, and Ruby also will already talking about the way how you guys can donate it, either by subscribe on the YouTube or donate for us. But in any way, could be materials, could be promoting us by mouth from the other people to know. So any way to support us, and not only about money, but we always have many different ways to support our organizations in different and in more like fun way. Right? So thank you so much for those helpful informations. I would love to ask you some more questions about our children gallery because that's going to be nice to learn a little bit about our children gallery. So I will tell very quickly how I created children gallery. So actually, I was in the Netherlands to have a short English course, 3 months. I think it's in 2016 or 2017, something like that. So Ruby friend came in. Actually, Ruby texted me like, "Hey, you stay at my flat at this moment. Can you stay at home?" And my friend will bring a ton of art from the children gallery that she already borrowed from me, and now the gallery closed, so she wants to return. So I just said, yeah, I can do it because like with my limited English, where else I can go except the supermarket? And nearby they speak Turkish to me, so they offer me the Turkish coffee, really nice, but we're still not able to communicate. The only people that I really talk in Nasha is it Nasha? Her name Nasha, the neighbor name Nasha. She really, really funny, but she speaks kind of Dutch English, and I speak kind of Vietnamese English, so it's always a mess. And then we also have a lot of Turkish kids around. Um, they're really nice, but again, they speak Dutch, Turkish, not really English at all. So we always have kind of confusion around in that area. So we say, okay, I will stay home and I will receive the artwork for you. And I realized that there's a lot of nice artwork. And she shared a lot of what we did in the past for the children gallery and things. So I came back to Vietnam. I attended to several children workshops and I started to work with children itself. So I'm starting working at the tutors and supervisor for English centers in Vietnam. And surrounding me is all with children. So it's really nice if we're able to bring the collection that Robbie have already in the Netherlands to Vietnam because otherwise no one will see it. So I talked to Robbie and he very happy to give me all of the work and he even become our supervisor to have for the children gallery and that's how we really start. But at that time we're still in Hanoi. So I'm staying with Robbie for a couple of years in Hanoi until 2018. It is so funny that our rent is also just kind of barely end in Hanoi, and the decision for me if I stay in Hanoi or return in Da Nang and continue my dream or to make it happen. So we decided to return Da Nang, and at the time I still go between Da Nang and Hanoi because my job's still in Hanoi. So it's a lot of traveling. One day I can be in Da Nang in a couple of hours and then return in Hanoi immediately. See how I start P&P Opportunities, and P&P is the name of my cat, Bone and Pancake. And that's kind of fun because I myself always have a problem with English pronunciation with the word P&P. So it's like B. So I always messing it up, and even until now, it takes a while for me for people to understand my accent. So my English is also not really perfect. And that's how the name starts. It's just a name of the cat. And yeah, so that's my children as well. Bob and Pancake is my children now. The cat's not live with me, um, but we always love them. And of course, before in 2018, if you came into our gallery, you will see immediately three cats. So we have Dracula as well, but the name of the gallery only two because that's original. The Dracula, the third cat, come way later in 2019. Unfortunately, we have to close the children gallery temporarily because of the COVID. But 2024, we're able to reopen them, and we're very happy that to see the positive energy from the local and also foreigners. So Robbie stay in the gallery now. At the back will be tea shop. So he will know way more about foreigners and the Vietnamese parent coming. We do have a mix, and we also work with another organizations or another. We're gonna say like a small workshop from another places like English centers or other art centers that they doing all the funny thing for kids. So we ask them to come to provide a free artwork, a free workshop for the kids, and they're happy to do it. And that's a lovely to see the energy and also the positive from them. So so I just, for me, it's just how imaginative and curious the kids naturally are. So when they be in art, they can create anything, and we can. I mean, if for adult, we can consider a little bit fail, a little bit mistake, but for them, it's just, in my mind, I think like that's way. It's not the wrong or right things. So they are really funny from the kid. I also saw how many children didn't have a set art spaces to see how much they able to do with art. So I'm gonna say like this place as a model, I just have to use so only. I brought my kid to library, and this kind of place provide also free artworks, free workshop for kids, and that really great for development the kids in the early age. In our gallery, we do not have an activity for kids in early age, but we already starting from 3. I think that's already a good age. So that's all that what we can say about our children gallery. So do you think, Robbie, I have a question for you. Do you think like this is have really much different between like the age coming to our gallery, and also if we can expand more workshop like in a way like an earlier age, or let's say like, not a newborn, but like not the infant newborn, but it could be like from 6 months to 2 years. You think like is it like was it a different from those different like a library? Like I often bring my daughter to the library when she around 6 months. So
Well, sorry.
mhm,
It all depends on the parents.
mhm,
When you have parents and they bring their children so they can have free time, then any age, then it's very difficult for us. But when the parents come and they say, "Oh, I love it because I can be here together with my child and we can
mhm,
do things we normally don't do at home, and now we do them together in a group," that's uh, that's very nice. And then it doesn't matter so much how old they are. Um, but for me, it mattered because I think I'm getting too old for working with you, but I was always too old for that.
mhm,
But like Gulia, and last Sunday we had a friend of Gulia,
mhm,
and she was very, very good. And she had two of her friends with her. And when I saw them working, and when I saw Gulia working with those young children, then I think, wow, this is how you have to work like that. Um, it's something that you can sink to your knees, that you go to their level, but without doing childish.
mhm,
It's a very, very big difference because you have older people say hi, and then they start to they think that children are not so smart, but children, they are incredibly smart. They just don't know so much, but they are very eager to learn, and they have so much energy in wanting to learn things. And maybe I think that's for me now more difficult because I'm more looking and thinking about what I see. And when you work with children, you must looking and doing things. And I'm much more looking around and think, oh, this could be like that, this could be like that. So it's different, but we still need a few volunteers. We have already a few volunteers that also have the good way of working with children,
Mm-hmm.
but we need a few more. But the thing is that the people who helps in our gallery, they must understand that they do that because they learn by themselves a lot of things. It's like when you, for example, are interested in colors, you learn a lot when you explain that to children about colors. And especially when you talk about colors with very young children and very and older children, then you find out that they have a completely different way of thinking. For example, there is it's a children book about somebody who has red socks on the right foot and yellow socks on the left foot. And then they ask why, and then they say, well, red is more warm than white. And my one foot is always colder, so I wear red socks because that's warmer. So that kind of thinking, that that's something that young children do. When you get older, then you think, no, it's nonsense. But when you're young, then you're thinking like that. And the truth is that might be true that red is warmer than blue or yellow because they reflect other wavelengths. So it might be that the red wavelength is feeling warmer than the other. I don't know, but it's also possible. So, the, so the way young children react, I just read about very young children when they started, or did I tell you that last time? I don't know anymore. But in each case, it's about why mama is such international language. Is because the M you say at the in front of your mouth, ma, and children, very young, they looking how you speak, and they can, even if they do not hear, they can see on the way you speak what you are saying, and that letter, the m, is comes much easier. So they often, and that's international. That is a m, mama, mama, and then it's papa, no, mama,
Yeah,
mama.
definitely because it takes 2 years for my baby to pronounce mama. She do not. She doesn't start with mama first. It takes hours. She speak every single word. Thank you. Cảm ơn in Vietnamese. Áo, t-shirt in Vietnamese. Vớ, socks. But not with mama. She always pointing me, but she should never pronounce the letter M, and every word exists before the word mama. It took her quite a while. I think even 20, how many months? It could be 26 months, more than 2 years, and then she's starting to like mama. I just hear the word mama come out from her just like months ago, and she just passed her birthday. So,
Yeah, well, the language development starts when you're pregnant.
oh, really?
So yeah,
Interesting. Mm.
that's when the children start to recognize the sounds and the rhythm
Ah,
when you're talking, and then that's how it starts. And then when they are born, they can distinguish any sound, but after a while they decide, oh, this sound,
yeah,
depending on what they hear. And
interesting.
yeah, when all children are different, and Einstein didn't want to speak the first years. So, and everybody thought that he was very stupid, but it appeared that he was just thinking too much. So it's all, but it's so interesting. But in each case, most children, they can pronounce the M because you pronounce them in front of your mouth, while other sounds, and that's possible when you uh, when you are speaking and you use the language that you speak and the words that you speak in the back of your mouth, and you have other sounds that you make. That's what the children see, and they, they even understand what you say without hearing anything. And
Oh,
yeah, but that's also with adults. At a certain moment, it's not only the deaf who can read lips, we also do. And how they discovered that was just they had a video, but they give another sound while they are speaking. And then the children were looking and they said, it's not good because the lips there were saying something else than what was sound. So it's already very young that children know that this movement with your lips produce that sound. So those are very interesting things. But what can you do with it? I don't know. But it's there are many things that we know and we cannot use at that moment, and then later we think, "Oh, I should have known it before." So, but the whole thing is how much is it interesting for the one who works here? How do they like it? How much do they learn themselves? That's the whole point. When a teacher is only teaching and not learning themselves, then at a certain moment in the beginning they teach, but everybody change and the society develop. Like the people who works here, they are 2 times, 3 times younger than I am. So it's sometimes I forget that, but it's sometimes very stupid when you see people on their phone, all those things. And then I think the first time I used the telephone, it was really a thing you had to. Can you connect me with number 3? Where you're in which city? Oh, they also have phones in other cities. So, and now I mean, that was already something that, wow, you really can talk with people so far away. Uh, like the television in Germany, it's called Fernsehen. It means that you can see very, very, very far away. That nobody will now see, oh, I can see very far. That just, it's so logical television. When I was young, we didn't have television. So things change so much. The whole society changed so much. When, uh, when I think my father was incredibly smart, but he had no idea about computers or things like that because they didn't exist those days. And that's and it's the same for me when sometimes when I hear children or when I see what they're doing, then I think I already got some head things when I hear ups. It's up. Everybody is up. They always send me, you need the app for this, you need the app for that, and then I don't want apps. I don't. So I almost have no apps on my laptop, no on my telephone. But everybody is always, oh, you must have an app, an app, and then they have so many apps on their phone that their phone becomes very heavy, and then it falls down, and then they lose their phone, and then they have lost all their apps and their whole life. It's, I mean, in my phone, it's very simple phone, but for some people, their whole life is in it. It's their for illness, their bank things, everything is in the phone. And I often lose those things. And then I think, where did I lose it? but other people also do, or it's stolen or whatever, or just broke down, and then their life is gone. And then, like, you must have for everything a security pass. I have a whole page in my computer with all my security passes because I cannot remember them. And I always hope that I remember which page it was. And I think it's for a lot of the people. And then the computer says, shall I remember it for you? And then I think, okay, you remember it. But when the computer broke down, nobody knows my passwords because the computer knows them.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I, it's hard because I cannot talk everyone to talking about your age, but it's involved a little bit with technology, and sometimes I'm also very happy with the upgrade, the new update versions of any kind of technology devices or program that I'm using. For example, my old laptop broken and I need to work on the video for Robbie, and he just keep working on it. Like, when you finish a video, like I'm switching the new laptop. The new laptop isn't like the old program of what I'm using for making the video because that's the new laptop. So I have to postpone the video at this moment because I'm still struggling how to install the program into my laptop because they all update the versions and some certain new laptop doesn't want to have an old version of what program I'm using now. So it's just like, oh, that's not really happy because now everything they just want to change. So thank you so much for a lot of sharing again. So I will come back into the children gallery a little bit. Um, what is the in your idea? What will be the philosophy in the children gallery or children museum in general?
The most important is that we like things when we can when it match with our what we know and what we need. And that's for children completely different as for adults. And I understood also for older people that when I get old, that I will also have other needs than now. I sometimes see that, but we, what we, children, they're hungry. They want to try out things. They want to learn things. That's their natural. But it must fit with what they already understand. When you make an exhibition, you start with a situation that people know. Then they feel it feels familiar, they feel at home, and then from there it's easy to go somewhere. When you have to learn new things and they put you somewhere and you don't know what it is, then it feels, and then you do like, oh, but when it is okay, I see, oh yes, I recognize this. Oh yes, I have this kind of feeling. Then it goes much, and that's the problem when you go to a museum. They have art for adults. That they are made by adults is not a problem, but they are made for adults, and that's something else. And that's most good children books. They are written by adults, but they are written for children. Just as the clothes for children are different. A few hundred years ago, they thought children they are small adults and they only grow, and that's it. It took a while before they discovered that they're quite very different, and they still do not always understand that. For example, children from 17 years, 18, 19 years old, their frontal brain is not really good connected. It's still there is still a gap between, and they still don't have the responsibility that they will have a few years later. So young adults they do stupid things, but they are not stupid for them. It's just because they're still not grow completely, and that's also one of the reasons why a lot of too much drinking, alcohol, and things like that is not so good because the body is not completed. And the younger they are, the more important is that um, you must give children the freedom to choose and to try out, but the way what you offer must be in a way that when, for example, when you have ice cream and you offer them 300 different tasks, they have no idea, they cannot make a choice. When there are two, it's easier to make a choice than when there are 20. So sometimes you have to limit what you offer the children. So, because when it's too much, then they're too much busy, they cannot handle. But it's also for adults like that, but we don't say that. But for children, it's very important to limit what you offer, and we do not push them in a direction, but we do that by the way we offer things. If you do not offer a very sharp knife, then you don't have to explain them that they can cut them very hardly with on a certain moment you have to learn them. But it can start when you have scissors, that they can hurt themselves also with scissors. But when you have scissors, they are with a sharp point, then they can hurt themselves sooner than when it has a bow. So it's always a question on how much, what do you offer to each child? And some children, they need to be pushed. Some children, they are not confident enough. But that's something that we see here, and I think it helps with art for children, because when they see the artwork, they feel familiar with it. And when they're for the first time coming here, and when you ask what's your name, and then, but after sometimes even the same day, but after a few times, oh, my name is, and they they open and they feel more comfortable. And it often helps that their parents are there.
Yes.
Not when the parents tell them the whole time what to do, but the parents, uh, I should say, you must give your child the opportunity to fail, to make mistakes. It's important that a child can make mistakes in a safe way. And then I always say, then it's not a mistake. When you're learning and it goes wrong, that's not going wrong. Then it's not going in the direction that you want. But maybe that direction is also interesting. So it's important that children can develop them. And but when you say we have to go that direction, then it's good to say, yeah, but when you keep on going like that, we are not coming there. So maybe now we go. So it's always there was a German author, Flipper, and he had a nice book. It was called Führen oder Wasserlassen, and it means Wasserlassen is just let them just do what they want. And Führen is, yeah, you have to do this and you have to do that. The both are wrong. You should not let your children do what they want, because they don't know what the consequences are of what they are doing. It's not, it sounds so good. Oh, my child is free to do. It's nonsense. It's not free, because it doesn't know what the consequences are when they handle like this or like that. So that is, it can only be free when you limit the possibilities, and when you keep a good oversight of what the consequences are for the child. And and that's important. But in general, we see here that, and that's a good thing why the parents are with them, that often in no time, the parents forgetting that they are helping their children.
They work with them. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and they just,
So Yeah, for the past, I just want to say in my mind the reason why I create this place with my own, our philosophy. It was a little bit hard for me to pronounce in early mornings here because my mother tongue is Vietnamese and I have to speak English. So, so our philosophy is simple. At our place, we don't correct art. As we say, it's not right or wrong. It's mistake, it's no mistake. We don't correct them. We don't judge creativity. We listen, we encourage, we celebrate with the kid unique way, the way how they create or seeing the world. And through our free workshops, everything free. So workshop for free, exhibition for free, and a lot of storytelling projects also for free, where children can create their own like children stories. Um, we have kids build confidence, curiosity, and emotional connection because sometimes it can bring out a lot of emotion for the kids as well. So it's not only about us, but also about themselves and each others. I will go really quickly before we end the live stream about the activity this weekend on Sunday activity. Unfortunately, Julia not able to attend to that to the live stream tonight because of the rain. So I think she is still struggling to try to get back to make the live stream. But anyway, um, it's unfortunate that it's rain and she's not able to join, but it's not really a big deal. I will try to say really quick about the workshops based on what I received from her. So it is about the embroiders on the paper, so where you have to a little bit be patient and also with the parent helps and hopefully the parent will encourage with the kids as well. So these are the examples you can see from the pictures. We can using the needles and sewing skills to make a creative thing like a breeze, like a root in these pictures, and you can see it. Here the dog with the headband, really cute with a lot of different flowers, and then here with humans, a lot of flower growing from these humans. So that is the concept. You can see here some examples. This one is we try to find like black and white pictures with Vietnam situations, and we also try to compile with like mostly women, families, and combination between like Vietnam after 1975 when the country a little bit still the mess, but a lot of recovering. And also we also try to find more pictures. I cannot showing all the pictures here, but we want to showing not only about the mass, but we also want to show about the Vietnamese past and how the family created, and some pictures just about the city. You can see we try our best to find more information about Đà Nẵng. But other than that, we think we are good to to showing the kids to see the Vietnam in the past, not only in Đà Nẵng in the past, but also Vietnam in the past, about the people, the combination between Western people in Vietnam and also with Vietnamese women, kids, or men, and how we um, survive at that time. So that's it in my point, to let the kids see in the Vietnam in the past through this activity, and then they also can make flowers, the trees by themselves on this. So thank you so much for the event. The event is gonna be, I think, for the kids older a little bit because it's gonna be better for for them to handle the needle. So I'm gonna say it could be. How do you think of it? It's an embroider's showing activity. So I think it's gonna be like 5 years old with the help with the parents. Gonna be the best. And yes, and thank you so much for everyone for the lesson today. We're coming to the end. So again, unfortunately, Julia are not able to make it. However, we still make this live stream somehow survive. So that's a good thing. Um, you guys can always donate in any way. that we can. So we do have a QR code here with a GoFundMe page. I'm not sure if it's working in Vietnam, but you also can go in person to the shop. Anything can help, that would be great. For example, like coming to have a cup of tea at our place, or if you have extra papers or poison, you can bring it to us. Or the more easy way to do is subscribe us on the YouTube channels. And I'm not going to say goodbye to everyone. And thank you so much for watching us today. And see you next week.
Yeah, just one last word, because we always say the activities are for free, and that suggests that they are not worth. But the thing is, people can uh, give money, and then it's not free. But then they pay, and then they think, okay, and now I'm sitting here. I paid for it. What we say is they don't have to bring money, but they have to bring enthusiasm, and they have to bring the will to develop themselves, and also to share that with other children and with other people. So it's not like because it's free, it sounds a little bit, it's just they don't have to bring money. That's it. They can bring money, but they don't have to bring money to participate. But when they do not bring enthusiasm and the interest, then we are also not interested. So for us, it's more, even when they will pay a lot of money, but they're not interested, then we also don't want them. We want children and the people coming who are really interested and make the activities uh, also interesting for the other children and the other people. So
As complete and agree and understand for that. I think that are good things to say about our place. So again, thank you so much for everyone. We're gonna try our best to really make it happen, and we're gonna see what's going on for the next couple of workshop. We will try our best to do more, and hopefully that everything will go better and smooth. So again, thank you so much for watching our live stream. Our place will end here, and see you next couple months week or next week as well. So come to joining our live stream. Thank you so much.
well, somebody is there. Tạm biệt.